Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see the hands-on lab for Azure Load Balancer. So I have gone ahead and deployed VM1 and VM2 for this Azure Load Balancer demo session. And I have deployed both the VMs in Southeast Asia location in RG2 resource group, and this is the VM size. And I have already installed web server on both the VMs, and I have also allowed the NSG network security group. As you can see under the networking, there are two rules, RDP and port 80 for HTTP. So we will be using port 80 for testing the web server. And similarly on VM2 as well, I have allowed the NSG for port 80. And I also removed the public IP interface. If you can just go to the network interface and go to the IP configurations and go to the IP config 1. And here you can see that I have already, disassociate the public IP address. And similarly, if you go to VM2 and go to the network interface, and here under the IP configuration and go to IP config, and you can see that the public IP address already disassociate. You can also visit my channel for know more about how to deploy the new virtual machine also. Okay, so now let's go ahead and deploy the Azure Load Balancer. You can go to the search option and type Load Balancer. And here, let's go ahead and create the Load Balancer. So let's choose the resource group and enter the Load Balancer name. And leave it in the Southeast Asia and standards queue. And this is going to be the public. And click on next for front-end IP configuration. And here let's go ahead and add the front-end IP configuration. So this is for the load balancer, front-end, public IP. So let me just go ahead and create the, looks like I have an existing IP address. Let me just check if it is still there. Let me go to all resources and look for the public IP. Okay, let me just remove this one. Okay, so let me refresh. Okay, let me enter the name of the front-end IP configuration. This is the front-end public IP. So I'm going to create the new public IP. Okay, click on OK and click on Add and click on Next for backend pools. So here let me add the backend pool and we can give the backend pool name. Okay, and select the virtual network where we used to deploy the VMs as well, and leave the other option default. and let's add the virtual machines. So I'm going to add VM1 and VM2 to this backend pool, and next click on add, and next click on the inbound rules, and here I'm going to add the load balancing rule. So here let's give the name for the load balancing, and here we need to choose the front-end IP for the front-end IP address, and select the backend pool name, and let's enter the port. So we are going to use the HTTP in port 8, and we also need to create the health prop. So we don't have anything already, so let's just create the so I'm just giving prob A, and let's use the TCP connection. So what it will does is it will check the backend pool virtual machines health status, and once all those VMs are healthy, then only it will traffic the traffics. So just click on OK and leave the other option default and click on add. OK, and click on next and review and create. Okay, so let's wait for the load balancer resource to be deployed. So let me click on create. Okay, so let's wait for this deployment to be completed. Okay, as we can see, the deployment is completed. Let me go to the resource, and here we can see the front-end IP configuration. So this is the public front-end IP, and in the backend pools we have added both the VM1 and VM2, which is currently running, and this is the private IP address of both the VMs, and this is the network interface name. And if you can click on health prop, we have created the health prop to check the backend VM's health status. And next load balancing rule, we have created the load balancing rule as well. And now let's go ahead and test the load balancing by using the public IP address. So let me just take this public IP address, and if I just put it in the new tab, I can see that I'm getting the response from the server, which is the web server. I have also created the default.html page in each of the VM, that means VM1 and VM2. So if I just type default.html, you can see that this page is provided from the app-vm1. And similarly, let me just open the new page, maybe open a new web browser. So let's check in the Microsoft Edge. So let me copy this front end, the load balancer IP address, and let me just go to the Microsoft Edge. And here also you can see that we are just getting VM1. Let me close the browser and clear the cache. Okay, let me try again. Okay, it's still giving the VM1. Let me check in the Internet Explorer. Okay, here we can see that the web page is coming from app-vm2 virtual machine. So as you can see that the load balancer is sending the traffic to VM1 and VM2. So as per the user, he will be accessing the load balancer public IP address, and since we have added the backend pools for our two VMs, the web pages provided from the both the VMs based on the traffic. Okay, so that's it in this video, and I'll see you in the next.